Yeah, let's go.
All right. Hello, and welcome to the Spacejumper podcast. My name is Jared, and I am your host. Today, I have a very special guest. I guess I'm on a photography kick this week because I've had three awesome photographers in a row, and it's not really even the photography that I mean, yes, I love photography and I love the art of capturing things, but everybody has a story, and you have a unique story because I was looking through your profile, and I mean, not only are you doing some amazing things and progressing in your field, but you're also doing these motion picture videos, and you're really creative. So, Mr. Dom Carter, everybody.
What's up? Happy to be here. Appreciate you.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming. Again, I hope traffic didn't treat you too bad.
I mean, it's Houston. You gotta get used to it and just keep it rolling.
Exactly.
That's how it is here. So.
And, I mean, it's so crazy here. I mean, and plus it's like 6 o'clock. I mean, traffic is bad. Oh, it's so bad from like 7 a.m. until about 9 a.m.
Yeah, people are going to work. Yeah,
and then around 4 to 6,
people leaving work. Yeah,
yeah. I try to avoid the roads on those times.
I hear you.
But again, thank you for coming, and again, you're doing some really amazing things. So I guess the first question that I have for you is, why photography?
Damn. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I told this story before, but I was like in college obviously years ago, and I was just working a lot, going to school full time, working 2 jobs, stuff like that. So I was just always really busy, and I just needed something creative to just do for fun outside of work, just to like de-stress and to relax.
Right.
And I don't know, I've always been into like video making. I was really big into like Call of Duty videos in like high school and stuff. So just that whole process of putting things together creatively is always something of interest to me. So when college rolled around, I bought a camera and just started taking pictures, going to car meets and then going to downtown, taking pictures, and then just fell in love with it. Just been addicted ever since. So.
Man, I love that. Honestly, I'm really interested in a lot of things that you do because, do you still play Call of Duty?
A little bit, not as much as I used to, because I grew up playing it. I've played it since like Call of Duty 2, and I was like a huge gamer growing up. I still play a little bit like from time to time, like once Warzone came back or when it came around.
Warzone's going pretty hard right now.
Yeah, so me and my friends will hop on there, but not as much as I used to for sure. Yeah.
So that's cool. So you started out videoing your game, almost streaming. Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, it was like, it's interesting because, what was it? It was like 2010, 2012, around that time when I was in high school. This was before like Twitch and everything became really popular. It was just strictly YouTube. So for those people who know like the gaming stuff back then, but yeah, I would just have like a HDP VR, and I had it connected to my computer and my Xbox 360, and I would just play like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, and just like trick shotting and sniping and stuff like that. The OG stuff, yeah. So that was like heavy and onto that stuff in high school, but that really like opened my creative box to really like creating things and putting it out there. So
wow, well that's incredible that it's kind of morphed into what it is today, because I mean you're fully sustainable over here. And,
we try to be anyway.
It's pretty amazing, and most people don't really realize the career that photography could bring, and the full satisfaction that career can bring you. So, how is it being your own boss? I mean, you're pretty much your own boss, So.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because like I was actually doing it because I went to college. So I did, I majored in business. So I graduated that, and I was doing consulting for a while. Right now I'm like taking a break from that industry and just really focusing on photography. Just feel like I can pursue it as much as I can right now. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the number one thing that I've learned is just like networking and just consistently putting out work, and just keeping, I guess, your name in people's minds when it comes to like booking shoots or getting jobs scheduled for yourself. So just having that, I guess, respect or repertoire of your name out there, and especially in Houston, is really helpful. But I guess to like answer your question about being your own boss, it's cool. I think you could, obviously make your own schedule. You have more control in what the type of work you want to do and things of that nature. So yeah, it's interesting. It's been fun.
Yeah, that is interesting. And back to what you said about you were going to car meets. So you're big car fanatic.
Yeah, for sure. I have a Honda Civic Type R. It's been like my dream car for the longest, so I was able to finally afford one and get one last year. So I've been having that for a year now, a little over a year.
Is that thing is it VTEC?
VTEC, yeah, 6-speed manual. It's really fun.
Oh wow, yeah, you can't go wrong with a manual.
Nah, man, it's so much fun. I feel like once you learn how to drive it, that's like you don't want to go back, you know. So
yeah. The only difficulty that I have as far as a manual, because I was driving a I was dating a girl at the time, and she had a manual Volkswagen Beetle.
Okay.
And so I would be ripping around that thing, man.
It's fun,
and
though.
it just feels like you're going so fast. I
Mm-hmm.
look down, I'm doing like 25. But yeah, no. The only difficulty that I have, I mean, I would prefer manual over automatic any
Mm-hmm.
day, but unless like, you know, because some of these parking garages around here in Houston, you get caught like trying to go through a gate or something,
Mm-hmm.
and having to kind of start and stop on that.
Yeah,
on that
and going
incline.
up the inclines,
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
it's
pain in
definitely
the
a
butt.
challenge for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you have to
you
kind of maneuver your feet in a certain
Yeah, it's
way.
just practice, right? It's just the left, right, the back and forth with the pedals, but yeah, just takes practice for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. So, are you involved in any of the like car photo shoots and things?
Not as much. I have friends that are really like deep into the car community. One of my friends, Elvis, he's like super into it. There's this page called Neo Meets on Instagram. They host like a lot of car meets throughout like the city of Houston, and he's like one of their main photographers. It's a really
cool.
big page. They always host meets like all the time, so they have like a bunch of cars pull up and just chill and stuff. So
Man,
yeah,
dude, I love that. If I was in photography, that's probably the niche
the
that I
lane.
would be in.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you know, I growing up, you know, all through high school and things like that, I was real, you know, outdoors. I grew up in Beaumont, Texas.
Okay.
And so they had a car meet out in. It's called the Kohl's parking lot. They just call
Okay.
it Kohl's parking lot. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
You going to Kohl's this weekend? Yeah.
That's
and,
cool.
And the whole parking lot would just be filled with all kinds of different cars and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And I would be out there with my little flip phone, just like, man, look at this. Like,
Right,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
1320 video would like pull through, like do like a race out there. And
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
it would just be a whole vibe. But yeah, man, I love anything with a motor. I tell people anything with wheels. I love, you
That's
know.
cool. Yeah.
And if I could have any job in the world, it would probably be something that had to do with like racing. of
Racing.
some sort.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the car community here is really big, and it's like super like I feel like everyone's like a big family. They're really like friendly people for the most part, and like really cool. So like super collaborative and stuff when it comes to shoots too. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, honestly, the photography community is really tight, tight knit too. Because
Yeah.
I was just telling you, I had Philip Emerson
Shout
on.
out to
and
Philip. Yeah, that's the homie for sure.
And then yeah, man, it's been really cool to hear, you know, the kind of the pressure into moving and making the decision to go into your career, you know, and it's and I love that, you know, because life is, you never could predict what's going to happen, you know,
Sure.
and so everything that happens in life, it kind of molds your next decision and things like that. So yeah, I find it really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think Philip briefly mentioned that you had some really cool like portrait things going on right now. Some projects.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, like shout out to Philip, because when it comes down to like doing it full time and going all in, I think he's a very, very good example, especially here in Houston. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's been killing it for a long time. So yeah, I always like tell him props, like dude, you're killing it, and he's like just always working. So shout out to him. But yeah, portrait stuff. It's funny because like when I first started photography, I was doing a lot of like urbex stuff, cityscapes, street photography, and I still am doing that now. But like for the past year and a half, 2 years, I've been doing portrait work. So it's you know, just collaborating with models and actors and just coming up with stories and trying to capture that visually. So
I went to an event a couple days ago, and it was you may have heard of the organization. It's called oh crap, now it's gonna stump me here. I forgot. I could explain it though. So it's this like Flats. It's called Flats.
oh, Flats Film Lab.
Yes.
Or was it, because I know Flats is like, they're a film lab. They develop film for like the people in the community who shoot film photography.
Okay.
But I know they have like events and stuff sometimes too. So was it something around those lines that you
Maybe.
went to?
I don't want to confuse the two if they're different, but
I wonder.
I think that it's the same.
Okay.
It's this. I went to this place, and it's this kind of. It's in the Flats. It's this. Almost.
Is it near Montrose?
It was.
Do you remember where it was?
It was in Montrose, but
Okay.
here's what it was. It wasn't their space or anything.
Okay.
Not that I know of. It was housing. It was living.
Okay.
A living community.
Okay.
And so you go in, and it literally looked like you're walking into somebody's house. You walk into the door, and there's art everywhere, all
Okay.
over the walls, And at the very front of this event, they have photographers and models, and they're taking photos, and people are waiting in line, and it's really cool. But yeah, it's I was wondering if you were involved in any of that. Or
No, I haven't heard about that. It's crazy because it's like the thing about the Houston community is there's always so many different cool events happening, and I miss a lot of them sometimes just because
a lot of them feel like real underground, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the thing about like the Houston creative scene here. There's like a lot of passionate and really good like creative people here. It's just very like, I wouldn't say low key, well maybe I would say low key, but very underground too. So that event I didn't catch wind of that, but I'm sure like it was cool because it's just like a bunch of stuff always happening here. So
and that's the thing I love about living in Houston. Are you from Houston?
Well, I was originally born in Panama, so my whole family's from down there, and then I grew up here most of my life though, so I would consider myself from here because I grew up here. But yeah, technically born there, raised here. So yeah.
Cool, man. There's so much stuff in Houston. I mean,
Absolutely.
do you have any favorite spots? It could be anything. Restaurants, bars.
Damn, I don't know. I mean, like the past few years, I've been just in like the downtown area. I've been loving the Heights. I just like moved in that area not too long ago.
Heights is beautiful.
But yeah, I just love walking around the neighborhood. It's a really nice area. Very like kind of a classical feel, but suburban. Kind of at the same time, it's a nice mix of that. It feels like a art neighborhood. That makes sense. So I just really enjoy walking around there. It's really cool.
Yeah, I have a friend that lives right off of Heights Boulevard, and he loves it. You know,
yeah, it's cool.
He's not a big fan of his apartment because they don't communicate very well.
Okay, I got you.
He's mad because they pick up garbage at like 4:30 a.m. and it's real loud.
That's a weird time.
Yeah, but anyways, besides that, yeah, Houston is amazing, man. And it's really cool to talk to a lot of people from Houston because you get to see the different walks of life and different diverse backgrounds that people have and from the community. And so that's what's interesting. So, you decided to kind of pursue this. How did you get into the videography side of things? I mean, because I watched one of your videos. It's called Death of Fish.
Oh yeah.
that was interesting.
That was fun. Yeah.
I actually just stumbled up on that before you got here today.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh no, I didn't see any of this." And so I was like trying to cram and kind of get an idea, but where did you video that at?
That was in Hong Kong, actually. So I was in Asia in December. My friends and I did a trip in Asia for like 2.5 weeks. We did Taiwan for the most of it, but we were in Hong Kong for like 4 days. And that was like an early morning. We got up really early. We were just like, let's go see if we can find something interesting. And then we started doing research. We found like this market area, like this fish market. So we went there really early. And that was like around the time people were like getting ready for work and they're preparing like the fish and everything. And so I just thought it was interesting. And so I just like pointed my camera, started recording at everything that was happening there.
Dude, it was awesome. It turned out great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That was a fun one for sure.
I love the small films. You know, it's really cool, and it kind of captures this whole unique vibe of things,
for sure.
So you said Hong Kong and things like that, but what other places have you traveled to for photography?
The last 2 years I've been traveling a lot. So like I said, I'm from Panama, so I was there last year. I stayed for a month. Last January I was there. I have been to Italy, I've been to France, Switzerland, Taiwan, like I said, Hong Kong, different states here in the US, LA, Chicago, New York. Those are my favorite ones too. So yeah, just been kind of bouncing around, luckily. Yeah, just doing photography.
Sounds like you're living the life, man. How do you make ends meet? How is this?
Yeah, so that was before, like when I was doing my consulting stuff, and I was fully remote, so I was able to just like work wherever and just travel. So that was super nice. So I would just take my laptop, and sometimes I would take time off to just kind of really enjoy the place, but most of the time I'll just work and just travel and take my camera everywhere. Wow. So yeah, I was lucky.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, and there's definitely an art to it, and everybody these days has a camera, whether it's their phone or a professional camera, but it really takes a unique individual and a unique eye and perspective to kind of find these angles and placement and how to make the world or how to recreate the world to make it look different, to make it look true almost too, because a lot of people, they pass by things in their daily life that other people would see as opportunities to capture.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point, because I think I was talking to a friend of mine about this not too long ago. It's like once you're into photography and you're really like passionate about it or like obsessed, like we are, me and my friends, it's like you can't turn your brain off. It's like all you see is photos all day long. You just walk out on a day to day and you see something cool and you just like, oh, that's an interesting picture. If you have your camera, you'll take it, or you have your phone, you'll take a photo of it. But yeah, the world is just full of pictures. That's just the way I see it now. So
yeah. There's pictures everywhere you look.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I find the art of photography very interesting, and you know, not everybody could be a photographer. You know, I think that's a misunderstanding that general people have is, you know, like anybody could be a photographer, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
And I could give you a real good example. One time somebody had asked me to take photos for their wedding.
Oh, okay.
And so-
That's tough, man. Weddings are not easy.
and I was like, yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so they actually provided the camera and they were like, we have everything. All you need is this. Man, those photos were trash. And they weren't, I guess they weren't too bad, but in a sense of professionalism, man, I could have done a lot better.
Trust me, bro. Like weddings are probably one of the hardest like gig types you could do as a photographer because they move fast. Obviously, it's like a super important day for people, so you want to make sure you're there for those important moments.
Right.
And there's just a lot going on. You have to really just make sure you're locked in the whole time. It can be a little stressful, so trust me, it's not. Even for people who have been doing it for a long time, it's still like. Because I know photographers that are like strictly wedding photographers, and I see them and they're just like, yeah, it's still not the easiest thing. You know, it's not a walk in the park by any means. So
isn't that crazy? And,
Yeah.
and that's one of those things where each event is. I mean, yes, it's a wedding, but each event there's going to be different occurrences. You know, different things happen. So there's not an actual like ABC protocol to follow when you're proceeding through these venues and events.
Absolutely,
so
bro.
That's what's life's crazy, man.
It is. It is.
So what else has been up, man? I know, like I said, you're a busy person, and do you have any plans on traveling anywhere anytime soon?
Yeah, the past few months I've been kind of chilling on traveling, but I definitely want to go back to Italy. That was one of my favorite like European countries, specifically Rome, because the last time I was there, we went to Florence and Milan. We didn't have a chance to go to Rome, which is like further south. So I definitely want to go to Rome the next time. That's definitely on my list.
Wow,
up
that
and
would
coming.
be amazing, man. Yeah, I think right off of the coast of France is where I would be. I heard it in a Wiz Khalifa song. I was
Okay,
like, that's
there
what
you
I'm
go.
gonna do, yeah.
Yeah, France, like that's another thing too. Like, cause I went to Paris. Like, I was in the cities like Lyon and in Paris, but I know cause I have a friend out there. His name is Chris. He actually went to school here. He's a photographer too, and then he went back home after he graduated. But so I was able to stay with him when I was there. So shout out to him. But yeah, he always tells me that the countryside of like France is like something completely different. It's like another world. So definitely want to do that too.
Dude, now that you say that, I think I actually spoke to Chris.
Which Chris? Because he's Chris JLN.
Yes.
That's his Instagram handle.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah,
That's
shout out
it,
to the homie. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, man, I was like, man, I need to get you on, and he was like, yeah, well, he said, I'll be back in 2 years, and I was like, we'll go ahead and mark it now. You know?
You should do like a virtual one. That'd be sick. I would say definitely talk to him. I learned a lot from him, just like as a photographer, but also he's like a great friend of mine. He's a really cool dude. So if you could do like a virtual one, that'd be sick. I mean,
yeah,
why not? But
that would
yeah.
be cool. I haven't been doing virtuals, but honestly, there's so many cool people in places that I can't physically bring.
They're
this
out
setup,
of reach.
you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, I think that on occasions I'll probably start doing
Cool.
some virtuals and things like that. But yeah, man. Speaking, you said that he's taught you a lot. How important is collaboration in your field?
It's super important, I think, especially, well, I'll just say it's important the whole time, but in the beginning it is, especially because you're learning and trying to figure it out. So if you're able to get around other people, other photographers that you admire, or other friends of yours that are just starting, you can like teach each other, learn off of each other's mistakes, things of that nature. And it just also makes the process fun. You know, I think photography, I think it can also be like a really cool meditative solo like endeavor, but I think when you're working and shooting with other people, it's really fun too. So I think it's super important. You just learn a lot faster that way too.
Yeah, I think working. I mean, how is doing shoots with other people? I mean, how is that?
You mean like other photographers and stuff? Like, yeah, it's cool. Like it's really fun. Like I've been doing that a lot lately. With one of my friends, Alex and Pedro. we would do a lot of just portrait shoots together. And I think that's really cool because all of our styles are different. So like we're shooting like the same 1 or 2 models, but we're shooting it completely different. Oh. So we're like giving each other ideas, and then I'll see something someone else does like, oh, that's really cool, I want to try it this way. And then they'll see something I do, like, oh, that's really cool, let's do this. So it's really fun whenever you're collaborating in that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know when you said initially that you were working with other photographers on set and things like that, for some reason it popped up the image of I recently saw, I think one of the popular rappers out right now, or I don't know, he got a back tattoo, and there was like 6 or 7 artists like tattooing at the same time on his back.
Oh,
yeah,
crap! Okay,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay. But for some reason that's how I pictured it. But it's I know it's different.
But that's cool. That's really cool. I never would even think about having a bunch of. It actually makes sense because I always see like those really crazy back tattoos, and I always think like, damn, that was like a really long session. But if you had multiple artists, that'd probably go a lot faster. Yeah. But that's really cool. That's dope.
Yeah, I think tattooing is a crazy art itself.
It is.
You know, because,
it's insane.
I mean, you're putting images on the skin of somebody
permanently.
And I have tattoos myself,
same.
and I really like the art, and it's just one of those things I'm probably going to keep on adding until.
Once you get one, bro, you want more. So that's how I am too. So trust me.
I think I'm probably at like 20 something these days.
Okay.
We're adding up, but they're a lot of them are real small script and things like that.
That's cool.
I have a couple images on me, and I'm actually trying to fill up my leg right now. And, my leg's kind of like a Dia de las Muertas style.
That's cool.
Kind of Day of the Dead. Vibes going on.
Okay, that's sick.
Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting, man. I think that it and I told Philip this as well. I think it's very important to follow your dreams.
For sure,
and to do things that you love. So how long have you been doing this? I mean, you're doing it full time right now.
Currently, yeah. So I guess like just the totality of the journey. It's been about coming up on 6 years now since I started in college to this point. Yeah.
Wow. What were you going to college for?
So I did MIS, which is Management Information Systems and Entrepreneurship. I went to U of H, so I graduated from Bauer. So I did that because my whole thought process was like, I don't know, like in the beginning, I never really, and I still don't. I didn't want to do photography and like this whole filmmaking thing for money. It was just kind of out of like the love for it and just something I could just do for myself meditatively. And I just always wanted to have like a job I could just live off of and just take care of like myself and my family when they need help and everything. So that's the main reason why I went to school, because I knew like I just want something sustainable and I can pursue this like for fun on the side as like a passion project. So,
wow. Well, you've done some pretty excellent work so far.
Appreciate it.
Because like I said, I was scrolling through your profile, and I mean, everything is like really unique, and it really is true that every photographer has their own kind of like little vibe to them, and you sir have a really cool vibe to you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like it. I was telling Philip that if I was to get into photography myself, I think I would be more along the lines of like nature and like trying to capture like animals and like in like their habitat. And
there's some of my favorite photographers that are nature photographers, especially like me and Philip know him. His name is Freddie. He's from here, but he always goes to Seattle, like Washington, on the Pacific Northwest. Right. And I was out there too last year. And yeah, if you want to do nature stuff, like the West Coast over there in that region, it's beautiful. It's insane. Wow. But yeah, nature photography is like a whole other animal, and it's like super cool. So
yeah. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, I have. So when I was so friends of mine from here, we traveled to Seattle. We were there for 10 days last July. So it's almost a year now, which is crazy. So we were out there for 10 days, and we got to go to like some of the national parks and shoot it out there. So it was super cool.
Incredible.
Yeah, the
because
mountains.
It's one
and the
thing.
trees.
Yeah, it's one thing going to a national park and just getting to see that, but to actually like capture it. And
for sure.
Photograph it and kind of make it your own is like a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it's super dope. Yeah, just being there was like amazing, but like there's moments where I was like, I can't believe I'm here right now. Just like seeing it in person was crazy, and then being able to capture it was really cool too.
Yeah, I was really young the last time that I went to the Grand Canyon. I mean, I was really young, but I remember that was the feeling that I got. Like, am I really here? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And with AI these days, you never know.
You never know. Yeah, that's true.
Have you ever put on those virtual reality headsets?
Just for like gaming. Like I've been to a friend's house and he has like what's that one game? Beat Saber. Have you ever played that one?
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of like the
that where you
Guitar
have to-
Hero kind of type where you have to like play
Yeah.
the song like that. So I played that. Obviously, like the boxing one, everyone's always
that
seeing the
that
memes
one's
for.
intimidating.
Yeah,
too,
that
you
one's
know?
really fun.
You get up there and that guy's like 6'7", and you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of crazy games out there, man, as far as virtual reality and things like that. Do you play any games right now?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, growing up was like heavy Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War, stuff like that. Recently, since I've gotten older, I'm getting like old now, but I don't really play like competitive games as much nowadays. I'm more of like a relaxed gamer now. Like I'll play like story-based stuff. So right now I'm playing Fallout 4. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, which is on PC now, which is like that samurai type. It's kind of like I describe it as Red Dead Redemption in Japan.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So it's kind of like that. So yeah, I'm just like relaxed and enjoying the story narrative type games. That's like my vibe these days.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm ready for GTA to come out.
Man, isn't everybody? Yeah, that's
know.
crazy. It said, when's that coming out? Did they say 2026 or 25 or something?
End of next year. End of it's like
25?
December 25. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy to think, like, 'cause when did 5 came out? What, like 2014? No, 2013, actually.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so it's been a long time, which is crazy.
Did you
to
see
think
the trailer?
for 6?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I saw it like a few times. Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, they got the alligators and the girls twerking on the
Yeah,
cars and
yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it's cool because I think the lead or one of the leads, I don't know if they're doing the same thing they did with 5, where you could play with multiple main characters, but I know the lead or one of them is a female, which is going to be interesting. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
So
I remember,
Yeah.
I think Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
oh, that's a classic, bro.
Dude, honestly, my favorite.
Yeah.
But you know, in the career mode or in the game mode, you could work your way up. You progress through all the missions, and then you could get a girlfriend.
Yep.
And I remember that. I remember that you could get the girlfriend if you treat her nice. She'll treat you nice.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you don't treat her nice, then she'll kick you out of her house
Yep.
and tell you not to come back. I mean, it's insane, and I'll never forget that. I got caught up. Me and my friends were playing like all night. We got caught up, and the day is passed faster than a real day. you know?
Right.
So I think it went like we played for a couple hours. I think it went by, and I didn't bring the girl out for like a couple hours, which translated to the game for like a couple weeks. And
She got really mad.
dude, she I went to pick her up one day, and she said, this isn't happening, yada yada yada. I'm a piece of shit. And I was like, oh my god, I'm just in middle school. I'm like, man, my girlfriend just broke up with me. and I'll never forget with the main character, the guy that you're playing. He was
CJ,
like,
yeah.
fuck it, there's more fish in the sea. And I was like,
You learned your lesson for life right there in that
Yes.
game in that moment. Yeah.
motto to live by. And so ever since then, I'm like, there's more fish in the sea.
Yeah, there's more fish in the sea. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a classic one for sure.
Yeah, honestly, I love Grand Theft Auto,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the best game. You know, I mean, it really is. It's so real, and you could do anything. You go drive a car, motorcycles, boats. Dive
Planes
dive,
sometimes.
Yeah, planes, helicopters. Go to casinos and bet money.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Go to horse races. I mean, it's
insane.
It's
Yeah.
so in depth. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite games. I'm on Call of Duty right now.
Okay. Warzone? You doing Warzone?
Yeah,
Okay.
me and my friends we hop on ranked almost every day.
Damn.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
I know.
That's
so
crazy.
I'm sweating by the time I get done with the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty competitive, but I am knowingly the weak link
Okay.
in the team, because all my friends, they play a lot, And so when I hop in their lobbies, it's like, dude, what have you guys been doing?
Especially if you're
Like,
playing ranked, because you're getting ranked with their like skill, because it's all skill based matchmaking
Exactly.
now. That's the one thing I don't like the route that like Call of Duty has gone, because before it was just random. You could 1 second you're playing against a pro player, and then someone else who just got the game like yesterday or something. But now it's like if you're really good at the game, you're gonna play with other really good players. So I'm sure you're getting in those like really crazy and sweaty lobbies.
I'm
now.
getting busted by like top 250 players,
Yup,
and I'm
yup.
like, dude, why am I even in here? Like,
Yeah, bro. It's
it
insane.
just doesn't make any sense. But honestly, I love Call of Duty. I think it's a very good game, and it's very strategic.
Absolutely.
and just starting the game and playing the game a little bit, or getting online and playing Warzone, you don't really notice that, like, yes, I'm getting shot, but no, like there's an actual science behind it. Like they're luring you to a certain position, and they have a teammate watching, and I mean, next thing you know, you're done. Your whole team's eliminated, and it's back to the
especially
back to
we're
the drawing
paying
board.
the top like 250. Yeah, those guys know what they're doing.
They know
Call
what
outs
they're
are
doing.
crazy with those guys. Yeah.
And so and that's another thing is the full team has to be, and really what I've learned is, yes, like I'm not the best player, but communication is
key.
Huge
Absolutely,
thing,
bro.
So if I get in lobbies with my friends, I make sure to do the call outs and kind of make sure that everybody's aware of the situation.
Right.
But man, it's ridiculous, and it's such a good game though.
Yeah, that's great.
I know X Defiant came out, and we
Yeah,
tried
I actually
X Defiant.
I tried that too.
It just wasn't the same for me.
Yeah, that one's interesting because it's kind of like a mixture. Because like the people who made that were the original developers, or some of them from the original Modern Warfare 2, like the old one from back in the day.
Right.
So they made that game. So it does feel like Call of Duty. It's like Call of Duty and like, have you played Overwatch before?
I haven't played Overwatch.
So it's kind of like a mix to me between those two. So yeah, it's interesting.
It is interesting. And then I know I'm gonna, man, I don't even want to say it now because I know I'm a butcher it. But I know that Black Ops is coming out.
Black Ops 6, yeah.
And Black Ops is they're being developed by a different
Treyarch,
a different developer than the ones that made Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, because over the years it's always kind of been a back and forth thing. So it's been like Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer, and then Treyarch. Those they kind of go back and forth with the Call of Duties, like as far as development goes. And yeah, Treyarch has always been like really good at making Call of Duties. I don't think, in my opinion, they've made a bad one. And they're the ones who like introduced like Nazi zombies, obviously. So that's a whole other thing.
That is a whole other thing.
Yeah, so Treyarch is dope. I think they're gonna make a good game for sure.
Yeah, I know people that aren't even playing Modern Warfare 3 because they're like, nah, we're gonna play the real game when it comes out. So
yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so they're definitely on strike. But yeah, man, it's amazing, and you could run into anything that you have an interest in life. You could literally, I mean, you'll run into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what you did with photography. So what other projects do you have going on right now?
I mean, I think the big thing right now, because like before I was like super just into photography, obviously. For like the past few months, I've been getting more into video. So I want to start making like just short films. I worked on one that me and my friends put together. So I want to start doing more of that stuff. That's like the route I'm trying to go down right now. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, that is exciting. I love new endeavors, and I love when people, aren't so set on continuing the way things are. I love how people adjust and adapt to different things and kind of maneuver their craft in a way that you're getting better.
Right.
So
yeah. Progress is super important for me. So I always try to like challenge myself and try new things.
Ooh.
So
what's your goals? Like, what are you trying to move into? Like, what's, are you sticking with it? I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure. I don't ever see myself stopping doing this stuff. I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying the process and learning. Like I said, just want to start doing more like short film projects, just doing more director stuff or cinematography type things on different projects if I have opportunity to. So that's like the route I'm like going down. So that's like what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah.
Right. And especially with this social media boom that we have going on right now. I mean, it's like a gold rush right now. As far as content creation and attention grabbing videos and things like that. So yeah, it's crazy. And I know people say, oh, that it's not the same as the internet boom, years ago.
Yeah,
but
it's changed.
It's getting crazy out there. I mean, because more kids are getting phones at a younger age, and it's becoming more incorporated in every individual's life.
Yeah, it's becoming day to day.
Yeah, and so everybody's scrolling. Everybody has TikTok. Everybody has Instagram. Everybody has fingers. Most people, and they're scrolling. And if the
yeah, it's true.
And so it's really crazy. So yeah, like I said, in your field, it's a great time to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's it's crazy. I think, especially with Instagram, it's been around for a while now, but it definitely has changed. But I think it's morphed into this different thing. Love it or hate it, it is what it is. I think people just need to just focus on, and that's what I try to do too, is just focus on the stuff you want to make, and then the people that will connect with your work will connect with your work, and just focus on that, and just try to build like a, I guess, dedicated fan base or community around the work that you want to make. So
Yeah. Well, you have done that. I mean, you,
I tried to, man. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, you've collected a good amount of followers that respect what you do and that appreciate your work and things like that.
Appreciate that.
So, are you doing collaborations with companies and things?
I have before in the past. Currently, I'm not. I'm definitely open to, but yeah, I've worked with like small local companies here in Houston for sure. Just like helping them with their content when it comes to like photo or video. I've done that for sure in the past. So yeah.
I know I go to Catalina Coffee off of Washington, and they always have somebody out there photographing situations and things like that. And
Yeah.
so
They have like the cars and coffee. They do that thing every Sunday where they have
Yeah.
cars pull up. Yeah, so it's
yeah,
cool.
I know, and I see people out there with just ridiculous equipment running around and like getting
Doing
crazy
video,
shoots.
yeah, for sure.
So and not even right now is being a good time to be in photography, but you know, Houston photography is a very strong community.
It is, yeah, it is. It's crazy because it's like to your earlier point about how it's tight knit. It's like it's I would say it's big, but it's not big in a sense where it's like I guess too wide for everyone. Everyone kind of knows each other more or less, so it's really tight knit in that sense. It's definitely strong. Like there's definitely really strong bonds in the community. So.
So when you're going out and photo shooting for like models and things like that, or clothings, and how does that work? I mean,
Yeah.
is it certain? I mean, it's different locations, I'm sure, each time, and
Yeah.
you have to bring different. I mean, are you pulling in lighting and all kinds
Yeah,
of
so it
stuff?
depends on the situation. I'm really big on location scouting. That's like even just like for me, I like to just drive around in my car, listen to music, and just drive to different spots like in the city that are either my favorite spots or areas I haven't been to. And if I see something interesting, I'll like take a photo of it and take it down on my notes, and probably use that for like a shoot later. So my notes pad on my phone is like full with like different locations.
Wow.
So it just depends on the scenario and the occasion. Yeah, definitely use lighting too for like indoors, and we need that lighting. But I'm really big on like using natural light as much as possible because I try to go for like a really like somewhat realistic natural look with my photos, especially my portraits. So yeah, I think it depends on the scenario, but I always have locations ready to go if I need to like pull a spot out. You know what I mean? So
Right. Man, that's crazy. And Houston has so many spots. You know?
yeah, there is. There's tons. Yeah.
Even just walking around, I'll bring Larry out in the evenings and bring him for a little walk. And I mean, we just pass some really crazy stuff, whether it's art, that somebody painted on a brick wall, or just a building that's slightly decaying, but gives like a
different vibe.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, I love that too.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Sorry about that. Larry's over here trying to get the papers. No Blazy Susans for you, Larry. Hey. But yeah, man. So how are you handling the business side of things? I mean, is that all via like your website and Instagram and things like that?
Yeah, Instagram's big. Website for sure. Like I said, word of mouth is really important. Just like I said, staying in the forefront of people's minds when it comes down to photography. And the way you do that is just constantly putting out work, and just, I guess, reminding people like, hey, I do this, you know what I mean? And so, and just having that word of mouth is super important. And I've been really big on LinkedIn too. I think that's like an underutilized tool. I mean, I use it for like my professional stuff when I was doing consulting, but there is actually like a need there for companies for content. So I would recommend people to get on there too. So it's just different avenues, different apps, and just always using them as much as you can.
Right. And are you like seeking these companies out, or maybe like handing business cards out or things like that? Or
It depends. Like I have a pretty good network of like friends from like college that work at different companies. So I just kind of tap in with them to see if they need help or anything or need content. And then just try to use that. Sometimes I've reached out to them, to different companies, and that's worked out. But like I said, I think word of mouth is really important, and just like going in and just trying to, because one thing I would tell people too, like in the beginning, you're going to be doing a lot of free work just to build your portfolio and practice, and then using that to get paid stuff. And so I've done that in the past too.
Yeah, I think that's a good method. Honestly, by any means necessary. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it's really cool, and your work obviously speaks for itself. But let me just go ahead and brag about your website, brother.
Sure.
Like, that website is awesome.
I
It's
appreciate
probably
it.
one of my, because everybody that I have on the show, they have some type of website in some form or fashion, and I haven't even set my website up yet. I have the domain. I just
Yeah,
haven't set the
it takes
website up.
time to do that though. Yeah, websites take time to set up for sure.
But you have an awesome website.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
And it displays your work, very well, and it's very very obvious, so it was very very nice.
Thanks.
So
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
and I always like how I find it interesting how people market themselves and kind of put their work out there for other people to view and see if that's what they need. And yeah, everybody needs that. Like I said, it's the gold rush.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Everybody needs their company shown, and that's another thing that Philip and I talked about today is, whether it's food or, whether it's a construction business,
Yep.
look at this, check out the granite that we put in this house.
They
you know,
need
look
photos
at-
for that. Yeah, absolutely.
And so, and there's not a lack of that in Houston. I mean, everywhere you look, there's literally something going on. Some business is
Yeah,
doing
it's true.
something, and
Yeah.
and it's really incredible. So, what do you have any like memorable like client interactions that you've had during this time of professional photography?
Yeah, I would say like the past few months, like the most recent project that my friends and I worked on was for the startup scooter company. Started by this person that he graduated from the same business program I did. So he started this scooter company. They're manufacturing and like building electric. Well, I wouldn't say building, but they're selling custom electric scooters.
Oh, that's cool.
And so they needed content for their launch. So we did like a promotional video, did some photos, and that was really fun. I think it was fun because I got my friends on board and we got to do something cool together.
Did y'all get to cruise around on the scooters?
Yeah, so
What?
they let us have one of the scooters. So I got to drive it and that was fun. And then we had like a guy, like a model, male model, and a male or a female actress, excuse me. Had them riding around. We were doing the video with them and taking photos, so it was good.
What do you have to look like to hop on a scooter and cruise around the city?
You just got to look cool and comfortable. Honestly, that's it. Yeah, as long as you look like you know what you're doing, then you're good to go. That's it.
Yeah. Man, one of my favorite hobbies here in Houston is I'll hop on my mountain bike and go
sick.
down to the trails in Memorial Park. I mean, it's just, dude, it's amazing.
Yeah,
out there.
biking is another thing I love to do too. I have a state bike, and so like every Thursday when I can, I go with Clutch City Cruisers and like, do that whole like throughout the city biking thing. But yeah, I love biking. I go to like Buffalo Bayou Park, Memorial Park, and
Wow,
bike
that's
too.
amazing. You said go through the city. Is that like where everybody has the lights on the
Yep.
tire? Dude,
Yeah.
I've been trying.
Yeah.
It's called Clutch City.
Yeah, Clutch City Cruisers. Yeah, they meet
dude.
every Thursday at 7:30 at Market Square Park in downtown. They start there, and then every route for every week is different. Like last week we did, it was like 26 miles around, like the whole thing. Like we went somewhere.
Oh my God.
So it's like the way it goes is like you start in downtown and then you bike somewhere and then you chill there for like maybe like 30, 45 minutes. Have like food vendors there and everything, chilling, listening to music, eating food, and then after that you come back and then yeah.
Wow.
So it takes a while, but it's fun. It's good exercise. You get to hang out with the homies and stuff. So it's cool.
And you go every week?
I try to, yeah. I've been pretty consistent lately, but yeah.
Oh wow, dude, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
hey, brother,
I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to come do that, and sometimes the group passes. Right here on
yeah.
Shepherd.
There's been moments where like they call it the midpoint, like the halfway point. It's been on Washington.
Yeah.
It's been around here, so it's been close.
That was the first. That was one of my first experiences when I moved to Houston. Is I look off of the balcony and I hear like music. And I was like, man,
see
what
a
the
huge
heck?
crowd of bikes.
A huge
Yeah.
river of just
Yeah.
of just people on bikes and people doing wheelies and listening to music and just chilling. I mean, it looked amazing. And at the time, the person that I was living with, I was like, we gotta do this, And here we are, almost 3 years later. I still haven't done it. So
Well,
yeah,
I got you. Yeah, and they're on Instagram too, and they'll always like post like they always do reminders like when they're doing it and stuff. But the cool thing is, there's tons of bike crews here in Houston. Like there's so many of them,
Mm-hmm.
Different ones like ride on different days, but Clutch City does every Thursday.
Ah, cool. Well, yeah, like I said, I definitely want to check it out and see what it's about. What about do you drink any?
Like alcohol and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I haven't drank because I'm 28 now. I just turned 28. But
Yeah, I'm right behind you. I'm 28 next month.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, happy late birthday.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I'm not much of a big drinker at all. I kind of did like have like a little stint of it when I was like 21, obviously.
Yeah.
But then I kind of stopped. I don't know. It's just there's nothing wrong with it. I have friends who still drink. It's
Right.
just I don't know. I just don't have like that urge or thirst for it.
Yeah.
Naturally, I'll do it like on occasion if we're celebrating something. I'll definitely do it.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm just not like. Let's go on a Saturday and go to the bar. Unless I get
Yeah.
invited, I'll go with my friends. But yeah, I'm not like a big like let's drink. So
Yeah, I think honestly, I think I'm the same way. I drank before I was 21,
okay,
and then when I turned 21, I'm like, this is dumb.
you
Like,
got it out of your system early.
You're
Yeah,
telling me like I could now legally feel nauseous the next morning. Like, no, that's dumb.
yeah,
Like,
that's funny.
it only made sense when it was rebellious.
Yeah, I get that. Totally get that.
But yeah, no, I don't get the urge to go out and drink anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If I do, it's usually involving chips and salsa
Okay,
and fajitas.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's a good combo for sure.
Yeah, dude. I can't pass up a good margarita with some fajitas. But that's why El Tiempo is so hot these days to the public, is because they're giving you these insane drugs. I mean, dude. I mean,
Coming back for more.
yeah, you eat some of those fajitas. I mean, it tastes unlike
Anything else.
unlike anything else. Yeah, I mean, like if people 300-400 years ago would have tasted the food that we have today,
Yeah.
I mean, they would be like this. I mean, it would be the most addictive.
Oh, absolutely. Are you
ever,
kidding
you
me?
know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I said, hey, life is crazy.
Life
So-
is crazy.
But what about balancing your lifestyle now with this work?
Right. Yeah. So before, like I said, I was doing other stuff like my consulting professional, I guess stuff.
And what was that like?
It was cool. Like I liked it actually. I really enjoyed it. Because it just provided me like I guess a different perspective. Because I was like obviously really heavy into the creative stuff, but it's just like business. I was doing tech stuff, tech implementations. That's what I was doing. So
Running numbers and stuff like that?
not
too?
necessarily. It was like companies would buy software, and then depending on the software, my team would go in and just like configure it, like custom it for them, and go through like this whole process of building it out for them and implementing it into their business. So yeah, that was what I was doing before. But yeah, so I guess like for balance, I don't know. I always just try to like stay active. Obviously, I exercise a lot. I go to the gym. I try to shoot as much as I can, and just I try to read books, listen to music or watch movies, just to kind of keep myself inspired. But I think I just try to always just get out the house and just go for a walk too, to just
it's
finding
healthy.
just finding that balance within everything, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you're approaching it in a very good way, you know, and you know, you seem very aware, you know, you seem very fluent with your words, and you seem like you have a good grasp on what it takes, you know, to be great.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel, you know, just from talking to you today and looking at your work and looking at your videos that you make and things like that. I mean, you're a very creative person, and
appreciate it, man.
and you're obviously making some headway in life, and it's really inspirational to see.
That's cool.
You know, because
Appreciate
there's
it.
a lot of people that don't want to do anything. You know, there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that have trouble making decisions when they wake up in the morning, in a sense that benefits them. You know,
True. Yeah, that's interesting you say that. Yeah.
you know, even me, I know a lot of people that they would rather, you know, sleep until, you know, 1-2 p.m. and then wake up, eat, hang out, and then go to bed in a couple
Right.
hours, you know? So
Yeah.
you have to, I think proactiveness and productivity is a huge key. You know, whether you feel good or you feel bad that day, you know, I think it's very important to get up and do it. You know, that's how these freaking big muscle men
Yeah, absolutely.
walking around here.
Yeah, that's true. I think pressure is a healthy amount of pressure is good, because I think I feel like when people don't have pressure, it's like you can kind of slack off and get lazy, because I've been there too. But it's also you just have to keep yourself, or try your best to keep yourself accountable, and you don't have to like accomplish like a big thing that day. It could be something simple. like just taking, like, I went out and took photos today, or I went out and wrote this story I wanted to write, or went out and studied this whatever topic I wanted to do today. Just making those small wins every day will definitely keep you motivated. So I think that's super important too. I think we get caught up in, and that's like, it's like that's like the downside of social media is we see people making big accomplishments, big wins, but we don't see the behind the scenes for them to get there.
Right.
So I think small wins are like super important to keep people going. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, and I agree. I think pressure is definitely a key provider when it comes to ambitions. You know?
Pressure makes diamonds, as they say. Yeah.
And so you know, if like, I think I have also probably been in that rut before, and that's probably why it's easier to identify it. You know, but yeah, I guess you just have to make the decision to start whatever that may be, and then you know, one step a day. If you have to make 100 steps, you know, 100 flights of stairs, and you make one flight a day, then you know you're making progress. You're still continuing up this path
For sure, yeah.
So yeah, Mr. Dominique, you are a very interesting person, and you have a lot going on for you, and you have a cool car. So
Appreciate it. Thank you for all the kind words, man. Yeah, that's cool. Appreciate it.
But yeah, no, it's really cool, man. I love when people follow their dreams and do what they love, because it shows. You know, when people are passionate about their work, it's visible, and vice versa. When they're not passionate, it's also visible.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
And you know, you don't want a surgeon working on your body that's not passionate about what they do. You
Absolutely.
know?
Yeah, that's so true.
You know, so yeah. I mean, you know, I've spoken to you. You are the third photographer that I've spoken to in the last 24 hours.
That's cool.
And each one of you guys are very understanding at the fact that you know what you want, you know, and it's clear, and you know what you enjoy, and there's progress being made. So, you know, you can't argue with success.
Yeah, that's true. I think, and it's funny, like the other two guys, J-Bun and Philip, we all have that same mentality when it comes to photography. We just, at the end of the day, at the core of it, it's just we just love it. There's something about photography and just this creative stuff that we just enjoy doing, going out and just exploring the world and capturing moments and creating moments. There's just something so fulfilling about that, and so we just try to keep that fire alive always. So yeah.
Right. How do you know Philip and Jason?
Yeah, so I met Philip. I've known him for years now. It was funny. I always forget the first time I met him. I was like on a parking garage with another friend of mine. We were just taking pictures, and he was like leaving with someone else. And then we saw like our cameras, like, oh, hey, what's up? You're a photographer. And then he gave me his business card, and it had like his Instagram on there. And so we just followed each other and then just kind of tapped in ever since. And that was like, 2017, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, we've been tapped in for a while. And then the same thing with J-Bun. I think I met him through another friend called Infi on Instagram. His name is Jafet. He connected us because I've been following those guys. Because J-Bun was like one of my biggest inspirations from Houston too. So I was following his work for a long time. So I got to meet him in person through our mutual friends. So yeah, just been tapped in with those guys for years now.
Wow. And it's crazy how like interconnected, you know, that interests can get you. You know, you know, it's so cool. And I love when people make connections, and it's almost like, you know, natural connections and things like that. So yeah, there's an art to it. There's an art to photography. There's an art to friendship.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
There's an art to everything, and you know, I think we're all on the path to figure out how to perfect that art. You know,
Absolutely.
that art that is life.
Yeah.
So Mr. Doms Carter, is there anything you need to get off your chest before we close this baby up?
No, I think I have nothing else to say. We had a really good conversation. I think what you're doing is dope. It's super cool. I really appreciate you just reaching out to me. I love talking to anybody that's wanting to talk about life or photography or just anything in general. So really appreciate you just reaching out. It's been dope.
Cool. Yeah, man, I really appreciate you for coming today. And where can people find you at?
Cool. Yeah. So on Instagram, Doms Carter. I'm not on Twitter much, but on X also, but I guess it's called now. It's pretty much Doms Carter everywhere. Website's domscarter.com. On YouTube too, you look up Doms Carter, I'll pop up. So yeah, Doms Carter everywhere. You'll find me.
Well, Mr. Dominique, thank you for coming, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.